The great Neil Oliver back as tonight's outsider. And the BBC stooped yet another low for the weekend by labelling thousands of decent people protesting Sadiq Khan's ruinous ULEZ plans as far-right conspiracy theorists. The policy, which will charge motorists of older cars £12.50 a day for driving around London, is fraught with dodgy data and contested claims. That's why civil liberty freedom fighters at the Together Declaration, who made their name by battling vaccine passports during the pandemic, joined to campaign on Saturday to get ULEZ consigned to the scrap heap. Sensible-headed friends of the show, including Sean Bailey, Tony Buxton and Alan Miller, all attended. So just one. Did the British Fashion Corporation decide to cover it like this?
The ultra-low emission zone held a protest in central London today. Local protesters and mainstream politicians were joined by conspiracy theorists and far-right groups. It follows news a judicial review is to be held into plans to expand ULEZ to all of London's boroughs in August.
Straight away thinks that
that,
far right.
The BBC should have done some proper journalism
I'd say you're just
by
right.
covering a Freedom of Information request made by Together that found just one death in the past 20 years has been attributed to air pollution in London, which directly contradicts propaganda pumped out by Khan's office to push ULEZ, which alleges 4,000 people die per year. Well, I'm joined now by formerly the BBC's own, and maybe they'd call him a far-right conspiracy theorist these days, right, Neil Oliver? I mean, my goodness, we've had two big things happen to the BBC while you've been off, Neil. That car crash interview with Elon Musk, where he completely owned them and called out their disinformation. Now this report, can we just say that BBC is finished as a certifiably trustworthy news source?
Yeah, can I just be clear? I was never BBC staff, Dan. I know.
You hosted a very famous show.
TV programmes that were made for the BBC under contract. But yeah, I know what you mean. The national broadcaster would look out at citizens of this country who are declaring they want the freedom to jump in their cars and go where they want. That they would call those people far right and extreme. Just shows how far the BBC has fallen. Who do they think they are? And how dare they, as the national broadcaster so-called, for which the population are taxed to provide? You know, this is the name-calling and shouting down people who want to voice a different point of view is a classic fascist tactic. It's based
straight or white.
Just in a bid to silence dissent, to silence protest, to discourage people from speaking out against, whatever is the message that's being pushed by the state. The BBC is nothing more and nothing less than a mouthpiece of the state, and thereby of the businesses and the vested interests that govern the state. That's all there is to it. I haven't listened to or watched the BBC in years, which, I mean, if you told me that years ago, that there would come a time when I simply didn't pay any attention to that channel, I would have struggled to believe it. I mean, where's the objectivity? Where's the reporting? Where are the investigative people or the reporters out there talking to and listening to the protesters, listening to a perfectly well, decently expressed opinion that freedom is paramount, and that anyone who thinks that the ULEZ scheme is any more than a grab for cash and a continuation, a prosecution of the war on the motorist, which is just about inhibiting personal freedom. Anyone who still buys into Sadiq Khan's nonsense that it's about clean air and because his lies that 4,000 people are dying a year, anyone buying into that nonsense from that angry little chap is deluded.
No, I completely agree with that, Neil, and I think that's where Elon Musk did us a big favour, because not many people have the power or the platform to actually prove that the BBC lie, that they dishonestly edit, but he was able to do it, wasn't he, using his platform in such a brilliant fashion?
That was fascinating, and that was another demonstration, I suppose, really, of how far the BBC has fallen. That one of their own, was in there, ostensibly to, interrogate and investigate, and was deftly taken apart by Elon Musk. Long gone are the days when some silverback of the BBC, would have gone in and struck terror right to the heart of whoever he was going to interrogate because of the penetrating questions he would have asked and the amount of research and preparation he would have been able to command. Elon Musk took that chap apart. Just sliced him into pieces and made him and by extension the BBC look ridiculous. And he made it look effortless. And I think a few years ago that would not have been possible. But the BBC is no longer the home to journalism.
No, it's not. Look, Neil, I've got to ask you. I was just thinking about it with Lawrence Fox. But this
Where are we going here?
Oh, this Brecon Beacons thing, right? Are you going to stop calling it the Brecon Beacons?
No, of course not. And I did enjoy the way that Lawrence, invoked the fact that I've always associated the Brecon Beacons like Lawrence did there with the British Army, with the SAS and whatever. But this renaming and rebranding in this instance of the Brecon Beacons is just about annoying people. There's a concerted effort out there to annoy. The footage that's been on the news cycle all day of that full busting open the bag of orange powder at the snooker championships.
Yeah.
That's just to annoy. That's just to cause division. That's just to distract people. And I've long since decided all this nonsense. They can rename what they want. They can rewrite the history that they want. Whatever. I just ignore it. I ignore the BBC. And I ignore this kind of concerted attempt to divide, annoy, and distract. We have to pay attention.
If you're going to ignore it, Neil, I'm going to ignore it too. Neil Oliver, it is so good to have you back, by the way, Neil. And on its claims, the ULEZ protest was attended by the far right and conspiracy theorists. We give both sides of the story here. Why is it GBU's the BBC spokesperson said, "We are satisfied the protest was covered accurately and the script was a fair description of the people and groups attending the event." Viewers were also directed to the BBC London website for a comprehensive look at the arguments for and against ULEZ. Now, coming up, as the Queen Consort's best friend speaks out for the very first time, admitting that Camilla is hurt by Harry's nasty public attacks, does the Duke of Delusion owe his mother-in-law an apology? Angela Levin joins me live in the studio to give her verdict.